Welcome to our deep dive. We're going to be talking all about using AI for predictive analytics in business.
Very cool.
The source material we've got is a comprehensive overview of modern predictive analytics. And it's full of insights about the latest advancements and real-world applications.
Right.
You're going to get a crash course in how AI is changing the game in everything.
Awesome.
From customer behavior prediction to financial forecasting.
Cool.
For example, get this. The document mentions how a retail organization
Okay.
used AI to predict missing values in their data.
Wow.
And this led to a 35% improvement in data completeness.
Yeah, that's like finding hidden treasure.
It is. It's in your own backyard.
Yeah.
There's a story about a global manufacturer that managed to reduce their inventory by a whopping 25%,
Okay.
but they actually improved product availability,
Wow.
all thanks to AI.
That's really cool.
Now, this whole idea of using AI to predict the future
Yeah.
is a big leap from traditional business intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
What's the real difference?
Well, it's a fundamental shift, right? Traditional business intelligence focused on reporting what happened in the past,
Right.
like looking in the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
AI-powered predictive analytics, however, is all about anticipating what might happen in the future.
So anticipating rather than just reporting.
Precisely.
So it's not just about knowing what went wrong.
Right.
It's about anticipating what could go wrong or even what could go right
Totally.
and then taking action accordingly.
Exactly. Imagine being able to spot market trends before your competitors.
Oh, wow.
Tailor your marketing to individual customers,
Mm-hmm.
or even predict which parts of your supply chain might be disrupted. That's the potential we're talking about.
That's amazing. Now, I noticed the document mentions 3 types of analytics.
Yes.
Descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive.
Yeah.
I get that predictive analytics is about forecasting the future, but what about the other 2?
Think of them as different lenses for looking at data. Descriptive analytics tells you what happened, like a news report,
Okay.
summarizing past events.
Okay.
Predictive analytics, as we've discussed, predicts what could happen,
Right.
like a weather forecast.
Uh-huh.
And prescriptive analytics suggests what actions to take based on those predictions,
Oh, interesting.
like a financial advisor recommending investment strategies.
So prescriptive analytics is like having a personal coach for your business decisions.
Yeah, you could say that. It takes those predictions and turns them into actionable recommendations,
Okay. Yeah.
helping you make, smarter decisions.
To achieve your goals.
Right.
That's fascinating. But how do these powerful AI algorithms actually work their magic?
Yeah.
The document mentions deep learning, ensemble methods, and even something called reinforcement learning. I admit I'm a bit lost in the technical jargon here.
Let's break it down.
Okay.
So deep learning is like giving your AI a superpowered brain.
Okay.
It allows the AI to find these subtle patterns in massive data sets, patterns that would take humans forever to spot.
Right.
One type of deep learning, called convolutional neural networks, is incredibly good at image-based prediction.
Interesting.
Think visual quality control on a production line,
Right.
where AI can spot defects that humans might miss.
Okay.
Then there are recurrent neural networks,
Right.
perfect for time series forecasting.
Like predicting stock prices or energy consumption.
Yeah.
I remember reading about that retail company that improved their demand forecasting by 30% using deep learning. It's amazing how much more accurate these predictions can be with AI. What about these ensemble methods?
Yeah.
The document mentioned an insurance company using them to reduce fraudulent claims.
Right. So ensemble methods are like having a team of expert advisors, each with their own strengths and weaknesses.
Okay.
Instead of relying on a single predictive model, you combine multiple models to get a more robust and accurate prediction.
So it's about combining the wisdom of the crowd, so to speak.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, reinforcement learning, that's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
It's like teaching a dog new tricks, but on a much more complex level.
Huh.
You train an AI agent to make optimal decisions in dynamic environments, rewarding it for good choices and penalizing it for bad ones.
So that sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. Is it really being used in business today?
Absolutely. The document mentions an e-commerce platform that used reinforcement learning to optimize their inventory management,
Wow.
leading to a 15% reduction in stockouts.
Really?
They basically taught an AI to manage their inventory like a seasoned professional.
That's amazing. So we've got these amazing AI algorithms working their magic, but how do we actually get from raw data to those insightful decisions? What does the predictive analytics pipeline look like in practice?
It's a multi-stage journey, starting with data preparation.
Okay.
This is where you gather your data, clean it up, and get it ready for analysis.
Right.
It might sound tedious, but believe me, it's crucial. Garbage in, garbage out, as they say.
Yeah, I remember the story about the healthcare provider that used automated validation rules during data preparation and managed to reduce data errors by 45%.
Absolutely. Data quality is paramount. After data preparation comes feature engineering, where you transform that raw data into meaningful inputs for your AI algorithms.
Oh, I see.
It's like giving the AI the right ingredients to cook up those accurate predictions.
So it's not just about feeding the AI a ton of data.
Right.
It's about preparing that data in a way that the AI can actually understand and learn from.
Precisely. Then comes the exciting part, model development. This is where you select the right algorithms, train them on your carefully prepared data, and fine-tune them for optimal performance.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, the moment of truth, deployment, where you unleash those models into the real world to make those predictions.
Okay, so it's like sending your AI graduates out into the workforce to apply their newly acquired skills. But the journey doesn't end there, does it?
Not at all. It's not a set and forget it situation. You need to continuously monitor those models, make sure they're still performing well,
Right.
and even retrain them as needed. The world is constantly changing, and your models need to adapt to keep up.
That makes sense. Now, let's talk about how all of this is revolutionizing the way businesses understand their customers. I mean, imagine being able to anticipate your customers' every move. It's like having a crystal ball that reveals their deepest desires and motivations.
It's not magic, but it can feel that way. Predictive analytics is transforming customer relationships in profound ways.
Yeah.
One key area is customer segmentation. We've moved way beyond simply grouping customers by age or location.
Right.
AI algorithms can now analyze vast amounts of data to identify subtle behavioral and psychographic factors,
Right.
creating much more nuanced and effective customer segments.
The document mentions an e-commerce platform that used these advanced segmentation techniques to boost their campaign response rates by 28%. That's a testament to the power of truly understanding your customers and tailoring your messages to their individual needs and preferences. Now, customer lifetime value, or CLV, has always been a crucial metric for businesses. How is AI making a difference in this area?
AI is making CLV predictions more accurate than ever before.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just looking at past purchase history, AI models can now incorporate things like product usage patterns,
Okay.
website browsing behavior,
Right.
social media engagement,
Mm-hmm.
and even customer service interactions
Okay.
to get a much more holistic view of a customer's lifetime value.
So that's really interesting. It seems like before it was kind of based on assumptions. Now it's based on real data. The document highlights a software company that achieved a 35% improvement in CLV prediction accuracy using these advanced techniques. That kind of precision can be incredibly valuable for making strategic decisions about customer acquisition and retention. But let's be honest, one thing that keeps every business leader up at night is customer churn.
Yeah.
Losing those hard-won customers to the competition. Can predictive analytics really help with that?
Absolutely. Churn prediction is one of the most powerful applications of predictive analytics in customer relationship management.
Okay.
By analyzing historical data, AI algorithms can identify those subtle patterns that indicate a customer might be about to jump ship.
Uh-huh.
It's like having a sixth sense for customer loyalty.
Wow, that's remarkable. The document mentions a telecommunications company that achieved an 82% accuracy rate in predicting customer churn using a hybrid model that analyzes network usage, customer service interactions, and even social media sentiment. With that kind of insight, you can proactively address those at-risk customers and hopefully keep them from leaving.
Okay, so AI is clearly rocking the customer relationship world. But what about the world of finance? Our document talks about AI transforming how organizations forecast their financials, manage risk, and even prevent fraud.
Right.
I'm curious to hear more about that.
Yeah, well, financial forecasting has always been a bit of a guessing game, right? But AI is changing the rules of the game. Instead of relying on, simple trend analysis, organizations can now use AI models that incorporate a wide range of data sources,
Wow.
from traditional economic indicators to real-time market data,
Oh.
social media sentiment,
Interesting.
and even weather patterns.
I love that they're factoring in weather patterns.
It really shows how AI is expanding the boundaries of what's possible in forecasting. The document mentions a global manufacturer that achieved a 40% reduction in forecast error using a hybrid forecasting system. That's a level of accuracy that was simply unimaginable a few years ago. Now, risk management is another area where AI is making a big impact. I'm particularly interested in how AI is being used to detect fraud,
Yeah,
which seems like an ever-growing problem in today's digital world.
it is. Fraud detection is definitely a major focus for AI in finance. Traditional rule-based systems are often too slow and inflexible to keep up with the evolving tactics of fraudsters.
Right.
AI-powered systems, however, can analyze massive amounts of data in real time, looking for those subtle anomalies and patterns that might indicate fraudulent activity.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, the document gives an example of a bank that used a type of AI called graph neural networks to analyze transaction patterns and spot potential fraud in real time.
Okay.
They managed to reduce undetected fraud cases by 60%, which is a significant victory in the fight against financial crime.
That's impressive. It seems like AI is giving organizations a much-needed edge in the battle against fraud. Now let's move on to another critical area where AI is making a big difference: supply chain optimization. I'm curious to hear how AI is being used to tame this complex beast.
The traditional approach to supply chain management often felt like juggling chainsaws blindfolded.
Oh, wow.
It was all about reacting to problems after they occurred. AI, however, is bringing a level of intelligence and foresight to the supply chain that was previously unimaginable. We're seeing AI being used to optimize everything from inventory management and demand forecasting to logistics planning and even supplier selection.
Okay.
It's about creating a more agile, efficient, and resilient supply chain that can adapt to changing market conditions and customer demands.
The document has a fascinating case study of a consumer goods manufacturer that used AI to reduce their overall inventory by 25%, but they actually improved product availability.
Exactly. It's like finding that elusive balance between efficiency and responsiveness.
Totally.
And AI is also transforming demand forecasting. Instead of just looking at historical sales data, AI models can now incorporate things like online browsing patterns,
Okay.
social media trends, weather forecasts, and even economic indicators to get a much more accurate picture of future demand.
Wow. It sounds like AI is bringing a whole new level of sophistication to demand forecasting. Now, logistics planning always seemed like an incredibly complex puzzle to me with so many moving parts.
Yeah.
How is AI being used to solve that puzzle?
Well, AI-powered routing and scheduling systems can consider multiple objectives simultaneously, optimizing for cost, speed, efficiency, and even environmental impact.
Okay.
And the best part is, these systems can adapt in real time to changing conditions like traffic congestion or unexpected delays to keep those goods flowing smoothly.
It's like having an air traffic control system for your supply chain,
Right.
keeping everything moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
Now, our document also talks about a revolution in maintenance scheduling thanks to AI and the Internet of Things. It sounds almost like science fiction.
Yeah.
Can you explain how those two are working together?
So the Internet of Things, or IoT, is all about connecting physical devices and sensors to the Internet,
Right.
creating this network of data-generating devices.
Okay.
Imagine sensors on a piece of equipment that can monitor its temperature, vibration, and other performance indicators in real time.
Right.
Now, when you combine that real-time data from IoT sensors with the analytical power of AI,
Yeah.
you get something truly remarkable.
Okay.
Predictive maintenance. Instead of just sticking to like a rigid schedule for preventative maintenance,
Yeah.
you can use AI to analyze that sensor data to predict when maintenance is actually needed.
So instead of just hoping for the best,
Right.
you can actually anticipate when a piece of equipment might fail and address it before it becomes a major problem. That could save companies a lot of time, money, and headaches.
Absolutely. It's about moving from a reactive approach to a proactive one, saving money, improving efficiency, and minimizing those, disruptive, unplanned downtime events.
Yeah. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, from customer insights and financial forecasting to supply chain optimization and predictive maintenance. But there's another crucial aspect of all this that we haven't touched on yet: the human element. With all this talk about AI and algorithms, it's easy to forget that ultimately it's people who are driving these initiatives, people who are making the decisions, and people who are ultimately responsible for ensuring that these technologies are used ethically and effectively.
You're absolutely right. AI is a powerful tool, but it's just that, a tool.
Yeah.
It's up to us, the humans, to wield that tool responsibly and ethically. And that starts with building and leading effective analytics teams.
So what does it take to build a successful analytics team in this rapidly evolving landscape? It seems like you'd need a pretty diverse set of skills and expertise.
Yeah, you need a blend of technical expertise, business acumen, and those all-important soft skills like communication and collaboration. You need data scientists who can build sophisticated models, data engineers who can wrangle massive data sets, business analysts who can translate business needs into analytical problems, and visualization specialists who can communicate those insights in a way that everyone can understand.
So it sounds like finding the right people is a crucial part of the equation. The document talks about organizations needing to create attractive work environments that go beyond just compensation. What are some of the things that companies can do to attract and retain top talent in the analytics field?
Yeah, it's about creating a culture that values innovation and data-driven decision-making.
Mhm.
It's about offering opportunities for professional development, mentorship, and exposure to, cutting-edge technologies. And it's about giving people the freedom to experiment, to learn from their mistakes, and to grow their skills.
It sounds like you need to create an environment where people feel valued, challenged, and inspired to do their best work. It's not just about attracting talent, it's about creating a space where that talent can thrive.
Exactly. Now, once you've assembled your dream team, the work doesn't stop there.
Right.
You need to invest in ongoing skill development to keep your team members up to date with the latest technologies and methodologies in this rapidly evolving field.
Right. The document emphasizes the importance of continuous learning, suggesting formal training programs, mentorship opportunities, and encouraging teams to experiment with new techniques on real-world projects.
Right. It's about fostering a culture of continuous learning and improvement where everyone is encouraged to grow and expand their skill sets.
Now, analytics projects often involve collaboration between people with very different backgrounds and skill sets. How do you ensure that those collaborations are effective? It seems like there could be some potential for communication breakdowns or misaligned expectations.
Yeah. Collaboration is key in analytics, but it can be tricky.
Yeah.
You need to bridge the gap between those who speak the language of data and those who speak the language of business.
Right.
Effective communication, clearly defined roles and responsibilities, and a shared understanding of the project goals are all essential for successful collaboration.
It's like building a bridge between two different worlds, making sure that everyone is speaking the same language and working towards the same objectives. Now, managing analytics projects can be quite different from managing traditional software development projects, right? The iterative nature of analytics work, the constant exploration of data, and the need to adapt to new insights along the way seem like they would require a more flexible approach.
Absolutely. The traditional waterfall model of project management with its rigid sequential things often doesn't work well for analytics projects.
Mhm.
You need a more agile and iterative approach that allows you to adapt to new discoveries and changing requirements along the way.
The document suggested adapting agile methodologies for data science work, breaking down projects into smaller, more manageable chunks, and allowing teams to deliver value incrementally and adjust course as needed based on new discoveries.
Agility is key in the world of analytics.
Yeah,
You need to be able to pivot and adapt as new insights emerge.
that makes sense. Now, one thing that I think is often overlooked is stakeholder communication.
Yeah.
How do you ensure that the insights generated by these analytics projects are actually understood and used by the people who need them? It seems like there's a real risk of those insights getting lost in translation or simply being ignored.
Yeah, you're right. Communication is often the missing link in analytic success. You can build the most sophisticated models in the world,
Hmm.
but if you can't communicate those results in a way that's clear, concise, and relevant to the audience,
Right.
those insights won't have any impact. You need to tailor your communication style and format to the specific audience you're addressing, whether it's, the C-suite, operational managers, or your fellow, technical team members.
So it's about speaking their language, understanding their priorities,
Yeah.
and framing those analytics insights in a way that resonates with their specific needs and interests. The document suggested establishing dashboards that track key performance indicators and show the direct impact of analytic solutions on business objectives, making it easier to communicate those successes to various stakeholders.
Yeah. Dashboards can be a powerful tool for communicating analytics insights, but they're just one piece of the puzzle.
Mhm.
You also need to be able to tell the story behind the data, to explain what those numbers mean, and to highlight the key takeaways and recommendations. And you need to be able to do all of that in a way that's clear, concise, and engaging.
So it's about making those insights come alive.
Yes.
showing how they can be used to make better decisions and drive better outcomes.
Right.
It's about turning data into action. Now, before we move on to our final segment, I want to address something that I think a lot of organizations struggle with: the question of organizational structure.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to analytics capabilities, should they be centralized in a center of excellence, distributed across business units, or is a hybrid approach the way to go?
Yeah. There's no one-size-fits-all answer to that question.
Right.
The best approach depends on the specific organization, its industry, its culture, and its goals for analytics.
Okay.
A centralized model can be effective for building core capabilities and establishing standards,
Mm-hmm.
but it can sometimes lead to a disconnect between the analytics team and the business units they're supposed to be serving.
It's like having a brilliant brain trust that's isolated from the rest of the body. You have all that knowledge and expertise, but it's not being effectively translated into action.
Exactly. A distributed model, on the other hand, can foster closer alignment with business needs, but it can also lead to inconsistencies and duplication of effort. It's like having a bunch of independent cells operating without a central nervous system.
Right.
You might have a lot of activity, but it's not necessarily coordinated or aligned towards a common goal.
So it sounds like a hybrid approach might be the best of both worlds.
Right.
You have a central hub of expertise,
Yeah.
but you also have analytics professionals embedded within the business units,
Right.
acting as liaisons and translators between the two worlds.
That's often the ideal scenario.
Yeah.
But again, there's no one-size-fits-all solution.
Oh.
The key is to find the structure that works best for your organization based on your specific needs and goals. And it's important to remember that organizational structure is not static. It needs to evolve as your analytics capabilities mature and as your business needs change.
So it's about being flexible, adaptable, and always willing to revisit your organizational structure to make sure it's supporting your analytics journey.
Exactly. Now, speaking of journeys, let's shift our focus to the future. Our source document highlights some incredibly exciting trends and emerging technologies that are poised to further revolutionize the field of predictive analytics. What are some of the developments that have you most excited? One trend that I think is particularly transformative is the rise of edge computing,
Okay.
which is all about bringing the power of analytics closer to the source of the data.
Uh-huh.
This allows for real-time analysis and decision-making, which is essential in applications like autonomous vehicles,
Right.
industrial automation, and personalized healthcare.
The document gave an example of a manufacturing facility using edge computing for predictive maintenance, enabling them to respond instantly to potential equipment failures, avoiding costly downtime, and keeping those production lines humming.
Exactly. Edge computing is all about speed and responsiveness. It's about eliminating the latency that comes with sending data back and forth to a central server, allowing you to make decisions and take actions in real time.
Right. In a world where everything is moving faster and faster, that ability to react in real time is becoming increasingly critical. Now, another trend that caught my eye was federated learning. I admit I'm not very familiar with that term.
Yeah.
Can you explain what it is and why it's so exciting?
So federated learning is a groundbreaking approach to machine learning that allows organizations to train models using data from multiple sources without actually having to share that data. It's like having your cake and eating it too.
Yeah.
You get the benefits of learning from a larger and more diverse data set,
Right.
but you don't have to compromise on data privacy and security.
So you can get the wisdom of the crowd without actually having to gather everyone in the same room.
Exactly. And that opens up a world of possibilities for collaboration and innovation in fields like healthcare, finance, and research, where data privacy is paramount.
The document mentions healthcare organizations being able to train models on patient data from hospitals all over the world without actually having to share that sensitive patient data. It's remarkable to think about the potential breakthroughs that could be unlocked with this kind of collaboration.
Absolutely. Federated learning has the potential to accelerate progress in many fields that have traditionally been hampered by data silos and privacy concerns.
Now, I can't resist asking about quantum computing.
Mhm.
It feels like something straight out of science fiction, but it has the potential to be a game changer for many fields, including predictive analytics, right?
Yeah. Quantum computing is still in its early stages of development,
Okay.
but it holds immense promise for solving complex problems that are currently beyond the capabilities of even the most powerful classical computers. We're talking about problems in fields like drug discovery,
Yep.
material science, financial modeling, and of course, predictive analytics.
It sounds like quantum computing could take us from horse and buggy to supersonic jet in terms of computational power, what are some of the specific ways that quantum computing could impact the field of predictive analytics?
Well, quantum computers excel at solving optimization problems, which are at the heart of many predictive analytics applications. For example, in finance,
Mm-hmm.
quantum computing could be used to optimize investment portfolios, manage risk more effectively, and develop more sophisticated fraud detection algorithms.
Okay.
In healthcare, it could be used to personalize treatment plans, accelerate drug discovery, and improve disease prediction and diagnosis.
Wow.
And in logistics and supply chain management, it could be used to optimize routing and scheduling, minimize delivery times, and reduce costs.
It sounds like quantum computing could unlock a whole new level of sophistication and accuracy in predictive analytics. It's exciting to think about the possibilities. What other trends and emerging technologies are you keeping an eye on?
Well, the convergence of AI and the Internet of Things is opening up a world of possibilities for real-time optimization and automation. Imagine smart cities that can dynamically adjust traffic flow to reduce congestion, or factories that can self-optimize their production processes to minimize waste and energy consumption.
That's fascinating.
We're also seeing tremendous advancements in natural language processing, or NLP,
Right.
which is enabling organizations to extract insights from unstructured data sources like text and speech. This is allowing companies to better understand customer sentiment, automate customer service interactions, and even generate creative content like marketing copy or even code.
That's amazing. It sounds like we're on the verge of a whole new era of human-computer interaction.
Absolutely. And it's not just about analyzing existing data.
Mm.
It's also about generating new data. We're
Mhm.
seeing AI being used to create synthetic data that can be used to train machine learning models,
Oh, wow.
which is particularly useful in situations where real-world data is scarce or sensitive.
That's fascinating. It's like creating a virtual world of data that you can use to train your AI models without having to worry about privacy concerns or data scarcity. What other developments are you excited about?
Well, automated machine learning, or AutoML, is making it easier for organizations to develop and deploy predictive models without needing a team of PhD level data scientists.
Okay.
This is democratizing access to analytics,
Yeah.
making it more accessible to organizations of all sizes. And we're also seeing the emergence of low-code and no-code platforms that allow business users to build and deploy basic analytics applications without needing to write any code.
Yeah.
It's about putting the power of analytics into the hands of the people who need it most.
That's great to hear. It sounds like the future of predictive analytics is incredibly bright with all these exciting new technologies on the horizon. It's almost overwhelming to think about all the possibilities.
It is an exciting time to be working in this field, but with all this innovation comes new challenges, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the things that organizations need to be thinking about as they navigate this rapidly evolving landscape?
Yeah, I imagine it can be difficult to keep up with all these rapid advancements and to know which technologies to invest in. It's like trying to drink from a fire hose of innovation.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to organizations that are trying to stay ahead of the curve in this ever-changing world of predictive analytics?
The most important thing is to stay agile and adaptable,
Okay.
to be willing to experiment with new technologies and approaches. Don't be afraid to fail fast and learn from your mistakes.
Right.
And it's crucial to have a strong foundation in the fundamentals of data science and analytics.
Mm.
Those fundamentals will always be relevant, even as the technologies evolve.
So it's like building a house on a solid foundation. You can always renovate and remodel as new technologies and trends emerge, but you need that solid foundation to support it all.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the importance of the human element. AI is a powerful tool, but it's ultimately up to humans to wield that tool responsibly and ethically.
Well said. So, as we wrap up this section of our deep dive into the world of AI-powered predictive analytics, what are some key takeaways you'd like our listeners to remember?
I think first, predictive analytics isn't just a tech trend. It's a transformative force that's impacting every industry.
Mm-hmm.
Second, success in analytics requires a balance of technical expertise, business acumen, and ethical considerations.
Right.
And finally, the future of analytics is incredibly bright,
Yeah.
but it requires a willingness to embrace innovation and adapt to change.
Well said. It's been an incredible journey through the world of AI-powered predictive analytics so far. We've covered a lot of ground today, from AI algorithms and data pipelines to customer insights, financial forecasting, supply chain optimization, and the importance of building and leading effective analytics teams. And we've even peeked into the future to see what exciting new technologies are on the horizon. I hope our listener is feeling both informed and inspired. Now, let's take a moment to gather our thoughts, and when we come back, we'll continue our exploration of this fascinating and ever-evolving field. Welcome back to our deep dive into AI-powered predictive analytics. Before the break, we were talking about some of the exciting new technologies on the horizon, things like edge computing and federated learning and even quantum computing. It's amazing to think about how far we've come, and it's even more mind-boggling to think about where we'll be in another 5 or 10 years. But before we get too carried away with the future, I think it's important to take a step back and consider the ethical implications of all this.
You're right. It's not enough to simply develop these powerful AI technologies.
Yeah.
We also need to think carefully about how they're being used, who they're benefiting, and who might be left behind or even harmed by their deployment.
Right.
It's about ensuring that AI is used for good, not for ill.
That's an important point. The document mentions the need for organizations to establish clear ethical guidelines for the development and use of AI. It also talks about the importance of transparency and accountability. It seems like those are going to be key principles as we move forward in this increasingly AI-driven world.
Absolutely. Transparency means being open about how these AI systems are being developed,
Right.
how they're making decisions and what data they're using. Accountability means having clear lines of responsibility
Okay.
for when things go wrong, as they inevitably will from time to time.
Right. It's about making sure that there are human beings who are ultimately responsible for the actions of these AI systems.
Right.
We can't just let the machines run wild and abdicate our own responsibility for the consequences.
Precisely. We need to be thoughtful and deliberate in our approach to AI. And we need to be constantly asking ourselves these tough ethical questions. It's not about slowing down progress. It's about ensuring that progress is aligned with our values.
Right.
And that it benefits all of humanity, not just a select few.
Well said. Now let's talk about something that I think every organization struggles with. Measuring the return on investment, the ROI of their analytics initiatives.
Yeah.
It's one thing to talk about all the potential benefits of predictive analytics,
Right.
but it's another thing altogether to actually demonstrate that those benefits are translating into real business value.
Yeah.
How do organizations go about measuring that impact and communicating it effectively?
Yeah. You're right. It's not enough to just throw money at analytics and hope for the best.
Yeah.
You need to be able to demonstrate that those investments are paying off. And that starts with establishing clear goals and metrics up front.
Right.
What are you trying to achieve with this analytics project? What are the key performance indicators, KPIs, that will tell you if you're succeeding?
So it's like having that roadmap from the very beginning, knowing where you're going and how you'll measure your progress along the way. You don't just set off on a journey without knowing your destination or how you'll know when you've arrived.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that ROI isn't always about immediate financial returns.
Yeah.
Sometimes the biggest benefits of analytics are those intangible ones, like improved decision-making, enhanced customer experiences, or a more agile and innovative culture.
Those can be hard to quantify,
Yes.
but they can have a huge impact on the long-term success of an organization. It's like investing in employee training or building a strong company culture. You might not see those benefits reflected on the balance sheet immediately, but they can pay off in spades down the road.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And don't underestimate the power of storytelling when it comes to communicating the value of analytics.
Yeah.
Data is important, of course, but people connect with stories.
Right.
Find those compelling stories that illustrate the impact of your analytics initiatives. Stories that resonate with your stakeholders and make them see the value.
It's about putting a human face on the data, showing how those numbers translate into real-world benefits for real people.
Exactly. Now let's talk about building and leading those high-performing analytics teams that can deliver these impressive results.
Yeah.
It seems like attracting and retaining top talent in the analytics field is becoming increasingly challenging.
Yeah, you're right.
What are some of the things that organizations can do to stand out in this competitive market?
It's no secret that data scientists and other analytics professionals are in high demand these days. They have their pick of opportunities. So what can companies do to attract those top performers and keep them engaged and motivated?
Yeah, it goes beyond just offering competitive salaries and benefits.
Right.
Top talent wants to work on challenging and meaningful projects. They want opportunities to learn and grow.
Okay.
And they want to be part of a culture that values innovation and data-driven decision-making.
It's like creating an ecosystem where these talented individuals can thrive and reach their full potential. They need the right resources, the right support, and the right environment to do their best work.
Precisely. And let's not forget about the importance of ongoing learning and development.
Right.
The field of analytics is constantly evolving, with new technologies and methodologies emerging all the time. Organizations need to invest in continuous learning programs to keep their team members up to date with the latest advancements.
It's like providing your employees with the tools and training they need to stay ahead of the curve, to remain competitive in this rapidly changing landscape.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, analytics projects often involve collaboration between people with very different backgrounds and skill sets. You have data scientists who are fluent in the language of algorithms and statistics, business analysts who understand the nuances of the market and customer behavior, and IT professionals who are responsible for building and maintaining the infrastructure that supports all of this. How do you ensure that those collaborations are effective? It seems like there could be some potential for communication breakdowns or misaligned expectations.
You're right. It's like trying to get people from different countries, speaking different languages, to work together on a complex project. There's a lot of potential for miscommunication and misunderstandings. What are some strategies for overcoming those challenges and fostering effective collaboration in these diverse teams?
Communication is key.
Right.
You need to create a culture where people feel comfortable asking questions, sharing their perspectives, and challenging each other's assumptions. And you need to have clearly defined roles and responsibilities.
Okay.
So everyone understands what's expected of them.
Right.
And how their contributions fit into the larger picture.
It's like having a well-coordinated orchestra with each musician playing their part in harmony to create a beautiful symphony.
Exactly. And just like a conductor leads an orchestra, you need strong leadership to guide these analytics teams, to set the vision, to remove roadblocks, and to ensure that everyone is working together towards a common goal.
Now, let's talk about a topic that's often overlooked, but is absolutely crucial to the success of any analytics initiative: stakeholder communication.
Yeah.
How do you ensure that the insights generated by these analytics projects are actually understood and used by the people who need them? It seems like there's a real risk of those insights getting lost in translation or simply being ignored.
You're absolutely right.
Okay.
You can have the most brilliant insights in the world, but if you can't communicate them effectively to your stakeholders, they're worthless.
Right.
It's like having a treasure chest full of gold, but no key to open it.
So it's not just about generating insights. It's about translating those insights into actionable recommendations and presenting them in a way that resonates with the target audience.
Exactly. And that requires a deep understanding of your stakeholders. What are their priorities?
Right.
What are their concerns? What are their preferred communication styles?
Okay.
You need to tailor your message to meet their specific needs and expectations.
It's like being a good storyteller.
Yeah.
You need to know your audience, you need to craft a compelling narrative, and you need to deliver your message in a way that captures their attention and makes them want to listen.
Precisely. Now, one of the most common questions I get from organizations is how to choose the right organizational structure for their analytics capabilities. Should they be centralized in a center of excellence, distributed across business units, or is a hybrid approach the way to go? What's your take on that?
That's a question that's been debated for years. And there's no easy answer. What are some of the factors that organizations should consider when making this decision?
Well, the best approach depends on a variety of factors, including the size and complexity of the organization, the maturity of its analytics capabilities, its overall business strategy, and its culture. A centralized model can be effective for building core capabilities and establishing standards, but can sometimes lead to a disconnect between the analytics team and the business units they're supposed to be serving.
It's like having a brain trust that's isolated from the rest of the body, all that knowledge and expertise, but it's not being effectively translated into action.
Exactly. On the other hand, a distributed model can foster closer alignment with business needs, but it can also lead to inconsistencies and duplication of effort.
Right.
It's like having a bunch of independent cells operating without a central nervous system.
Yeah.
You might have a lot of activity, but it's not necessarily coordinated or aligned towards a common goal.
So it sounds like a hybrid approach might be the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
You have a central hub of expertise, but you also have analytics professionals embedded within the business units, acting as liaisons and translators between the two worlds.
That's often the ideal scenario. But again, there's no one-size-fits-all solution.
Yeah.
The key is to find the structure that works best for your organization based on your specific needs and goals. And it's important to remember that organizational structure is not static.
Right.
It needs to evolve as your analytics capabilities mature and as your business needs change.
So it's about being flexible, adaptable, and always willing to revisit your organizational structure to make sure it's supporting your analytics journey.
Exactly. Now, before we move on to the next segment, I want to emphasize one final point. The success of any analytics initiative, regardless of the technology or the organizational structure, ultimately depends on the people involved.
Right.
You need passionate, talented individuals who are committed to using data to make a difference.
Yeah.
You need leaders who champion the use of analytics and create a culture that values data-driven decision-making. And you need a shared understanding across the organization that analytics is not just a technical function, it's a core part of how we operate and how we create value.
Building a data-driven culture is not something that happens overnight.
No.
It requires a sustained commitment from leadership, it requires investment in training and development, and it requires a willingness to embrace change and to challenge the status quo.
Absolutely. It's a journey, not a destination,
Yeah.
but it's a journey worth taking.
Couldn't agree more. Now let's take a quick break to refresh our analytical minds. And when we come back, we'll delve into the exciting future of predictive analytics and explore some of those game-changing technologies that are poised to reshape the landscape. Welcome back. Before the break, we were discussing the importance of strong leadership to build a data-driven culture for successful analytics. Now let's dive into the future of predictive analytics. Our source document paints a fascinating picture of advancements that could reshape entire industries. What technologies have you particularly excited?
Well, one area that's really captured my attention is the evolution of edge computing. We're seeing this shift from centralized data processing to a more distributed model where the data is analyzed and acted upon closer to the source.
Yeah, the document highlighted a great example of this with a manufacturing facility using edge computing for real-time predictive maintenance.
Right.
They're analyzing sensor data right there on the factory floor, which lets them respond to potential equipment failures almost instantly.
Right.
That level of responsiveness could significantly reduce downtime and just increase efficiency.
Exactly. Edge computing is all about speed and agility. It's going to be a game changer for applications where real-time insights are critical, such as autonomous vehicles, smart cities, and personalized healthcare.
Now, another technology that caught my eye was federated learning. It seems like it has the potential to solve some of the major challenges around data privacy and security.
Absolutely.
Can you explain a bit more about how it works and why it's so promising?
So, federated learning is a revolutionary approach to machine learning. It allows multiple parties to collaboratively train a model without actually sharing their raw data.
Okay.
It's like having a global brainstorming session where everyone contributes their ideas without revealing their secret formulas.
So you get the benefits of learning from a larger and more diverse data set.
Right.
But you don't have to compromise data privacy and confidentiality. That's incredible.
Exactly.
The document mentioned healthcare organizations being able to train models on patient data from hospitals all over the world, but without actually having to share that sensitive data.
Right.
It's exciting to think about the potential for medical breakthroughs with this kind of collaboration.
Absolutely. Federated learning has the potential to accelerate progress in many fields that have traditionally been hampered by data silos and privacy concerns.
Now, I have to ask about quantum computing.
Sure.
It still feels a bit like science fiction, but it's clear that it has the potential to revolutionize many fields, including predictive analytics.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the potential impact of quantum computing on this field?
Well, quantum computing is definitely one of the most exciting and potentially disruptive technologies on the horizon. It's still early days.
Yeah.
But quantum computers have the potential to solve certain types of problems that are simply intractable for classical computers.
The document specifically mentioned quantum computing's potential for financial modeling and risk management.
Yeah.
It seems like even small improvements in accuracy in those areas could translate into significant financial gains.
Absolutely. And it's not just finance. Quantum computing could also have a major impact on fields like drug discovery, material science, and optimization problems across various industries. It's definitely a technology that we need to watch very closely.
It sounds like quantum computing could usher in a whole new era of predictive analytics with capabilities that we can only dream of today. As we wrap up this deep dive into the world of AI-powered predictive analytics, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on what the future holds for this field. What are some of the key trends and challenges that you see shaping the landscape in the years to come?
Well, I think we're at an inflection point in the evolution of predictive analytics. The convergence of AI, big data, and cloud computing is creating unprecedented opportunities for organizations to extract insights from their data and make more informed decisions. But it's not just about the technology.
Yeah.
The human element is going to be more important than ever.
Absolutely. We can't just focus on the technical aspects of predictive analytics. We also need to think about, the ethical implications, the social impact, and the need to develop these technologies responsibly and sustainably.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that AI is used to benefit all of humanity, not just the select few. And we need to be prepared to adapt to a rapidly changing landscape where new technologies and new challenges are constantly emerging.
It's been a fascinating journey through the world of AI-powered predictive analytics. We've explored its foundations, delved into its applications across various industries, and even peered into the future to glimpse the exciting possibilities that lie ahead. I hope you've enjoyed this deep dive as much as we have. Thanks for joining us.